GodFather's causing quite a stir right now. Rollo retweeted this thread by Dr. Richard Reeves, who he's talked to on a show a couple of times before, Dr. Phil, and then also on his own podcast. Seems like a pretty intelligent guy, right? Like, he talks a lot about, the societal waste that most men find themselves in. He kind of comes from a very scientific background, which I do appreciate, and it's a 6-point thread, and I think we'll go through it before we go through everything else, so we have proper context, unlike the rest of these Daily Wire shills. And yeah, for I guess he considers himself more of a Democrat over on that side. Can't even say lefty, because he's at least logical and rational, and he does provide some stats. So a good man who I might disagree with on a few things, but hey, if he's got the goods, you could disagree with the words, you can disagree with the phrasing, but you can't disagree with the truth. Debating marriage and fatherhood with a lot of thoughtful conservatives. I don't know if he's necessarily referring to anyone in particular. I don't follow him that close. I just see him getting retweeted every once in a while. One of my key points is that married parents plan to become parents together, which I think most people would agree makes all the difference for stability. Yeah, exactly. Not just having an oopsie-daisy kid. Like, okay, without getting into too much detail about my family, but my parents planned to have myself and my sibling as well. The timing was a little bit odd, and it came after a concerted effort, and that's probably another story for another time, especially, a certain realization that my mom was pregnant with me back at the time. Oh God, the way that story gets told in late 1989 is kind of hilarious, but like I said, we'll have to talk about that on a stream sometime in the future, because it's quite funny. But what is not in dispute is that, yeah, it was planned for. So, births to married mothers are less likely to be unintended. Yeah, not married, not cohabitating. 67% of pregnancies are unintended. Okay, 51% not married, cohabitating, which also makes sense. And then 23% of unintended pregnancies are just those happy little accidents that just end up happening. One gets past the goalie, as it were. And even within that unintended category, there are big differences in whether the birth was unwanted, mistimed, okay, by 2 years, or mistimed by less than 2 years, okay? And the way that this breaks down is, okay, so unwanted is light blue, medium blue is mistimed by 2 years, and mistimed by less than 2 years is, the deep blue. So it all realistically balances out at some form or fashion. Married parents are also much more educated. Interesting, very interesting. And married parents are also a much higher earning. Okay, married moms earn more than non-married fathers. Okay, but this is all considering, a child has entered the fold. So, that makes sense, especially if they're staying together. Nobody's having to, spend out child support or alimony or anything like that. But that's also a fact of just regular, marriage in today's day and age. It's all kind of hanging on by a thread. And married fathers earn more on their own than average cohabitating couple with a joint biological child. Interesting. Oh, okay. Married. Okay, spouse present. And then the father starts to earn, what would that be? 56,000. Interesting. Okay. Whereas everybody else, no partner present. Oh, okay. That's weird that is also the second highest marker for a man. So it's either get married or stay single. Interesting. So while it's true that cohabitating couples are less stable than married ones, okay, that's mostly because the married parents are planning to have a kid and are ready to have kids. Marriage is mostly the capstone, as Andrew Cherlin puts it. Albino Bob Ross looking fuck. Not the cause, alright? Staying together, for the kid, that makes sense after about 15. When the child is 15, there's a higher likelihood that married couples are staying together. As opposed to cohabitating parents, where it's just that I don't feel like it, but okay, cool. And again, all of these references come from the Brookings Institute. Not like I necessarily disagree with any of that stuff. It all seems, pretty much on the up and up. So, 6 out of 6, policy implications to support family stability, reduce unintended births through access to effective contraception. That makes sense. Raise education and earnings, especially at the bottom. And number 3, boost engaged in responsible fatherhood through equal paid leave. Interesting. Didn't really address that at all whatsoever. But you would think if you have a healthy family, as you can tell by whatever that was, slide number 4, that married fathers are going to be incentivized to keep that family together by providing for them more. Otherwise, if they're completely single, have no kids, and no nagging, cohabitating LTR situation, okay, you're going to end up making money. So it's a very interesting thing to slap on there at the end. So he had a little list, okay, and then Rollo decided to make his own list, okay, and he just decided to summarize it into one single quote tweet. The quickest path to becoming a high-value man. The quickest path. Make sure that you ingrain that for a second. So the quickest path to becoming a high-value man. Do not get married. Fair enough. Avoid family creation. Okay. Vasectomy in your 20s. Kind of losing me. Lift consistently. All right. Eliminate all sedations. Talk about it all the time. And fact of the matter is, Rollo was the guy that I lifted that phrase off of, because that's the guy who I heard enunciate it, and it resonated with me 100%. Okay. Learn game and networking 1000%. Yes, I'm an expert at networking. Play to your strengths, build wealth. Exactly. Maximize your strengths, minimize your weaknesses, but most of all, okay, if you're good at something, get really fucking good at it. And then number 8, resist easing up on your focus. All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. Especially if you're trying to become a high-value man. Now, what is a high-value man? A guy who can provide value for the largest amount of people. A guy who is well off financially, in his health, in his mindset, and also in his intelligence. So, okay, yeah, don't get married, don't have unwanted children, which is the entire reason why he is, creating that as well. Vasectomy in your 20s to avoid that family creation, lift consistently, and then, yeah, of course, round out the rest of your skills. As Justin Muller puts it, you got the buckets on the table. You need to constantly be filling those up because, a little drain on them all the time, and yeah, no, totally makes sense. But of course, the Spurg Force came out in droves because nobody decided to read what the first line of that was. The quickest path. There are other paths that are out there. And here's where the TradCon's decide to start riding in on the horizon. Oh, we need to just go ahead and stand up for our queens that are out there and capitulate more, which is kind of what Richard Reeves was talking about there towards the end. Oh, we need to have a head in the hole, but we need to have paid leave. It's like, he's good, but all that stuff as well. But the quickest path to becoming a high-value man, stay healthy, get a job, get married, go to church or a synagogue. Or what about a mosque? Obviously not. Have kids, develop a skill set, and then deploy it to make it the most market-driven way. Ben, I don't know. Maybe you're not even running your own social media account. We know the terms and conditions of the Daily Wire offer sheet, so it's highly possible that you aren't. The quickest path. Okay, cool. Do all of those stuff. What about that? What about that is quick? You're missing out the entire point. You can be a high-value man if you have a family. Of course, Rollo has a family. Like, are you guys retarded? But you don't know. You don't know. You just see a guy, he has a list, and he says, castrate yourself. Are you that fucking dumb? The quickest way. Don't run. He could have just as easily, instead of vasectomy in your 20s, wrap it up every single time. Don't let one slip past the goalie. He could have said that just as well, but Rollo likes to inflame on social media, and that's why you see all the TradCon's coming out of the woodwork, even the chicks. And I know I big up Lauren Chen every once in a while, and I said multiple times over, I have no idea why people give her so much shit. And then she says something stupid like this: your bloodline is weak and ends with you. And somebody who I don't even like that much, and I think that he is kind of a complainer and rather useless, but he makes a good point. Why is this broad talking like Conan the Barbarian? Yeah, you would think a chick who has a tiny kid right now and has a family of her own to raise, she would be a little bit more preoccupied with doing that instead. But yeah, okay, so now I understand. She doesn't even quite know the entire situation, but no, she wants to sound tough for the rest of her friends. She's got that Turning Point badge that's on there, but I don't know, maybe Daily Wires is just still in the lurch right now. But oh yes, the beard himself decided to lend some fucking great wisdom, some second-hand shit
The path to becoming a high-value man is apparently to neuter yourself and die alone with no legacy and no descendants.
What fucking legacy are you going to leave behind? Are you going to leave it to your kids to finally figure out what exactly is a woman, you fucking dork? But yo, nobody can even read the second fucking word. No, this is just Daily Wire, like I've said multiple times over, and we could just continue to pull all the trad cucks that have responded to this shit, okay? The fact that they're trying to dunk so hard on the red pill right now just lets you know that they're threatened by this, okay? Because you got, yes, the trad cucks out here once again.
Legacy, descendants,
Bloodline. Yeah, that's all right. There's a lot of average intelligence, average-sized men that are out there. Don't worry, Matt Walsh. You'll be well represented into the future. There's a lot of chinless fucks that just grow big lumberjack beards in order to come across as
masculine, and I've got a family to look after.
Which this motherfucker has how many hundreds of thousands of tweets, for Christ's sakes, and these guys can't stop losing, legitimately. Christ, like, I'm sticking up for people that I don't even like that much, like the quartering. I think he's kind of a brainlet, but he does have a point right here, okay? That's a reason why I don't do it all the time, but I talk about entertainment issues, mostly like the previous video here earlier today, unless you're on Rumble, which you're going to see that video with a couple of addendums out there tomorrow because, well, I forgot to unschedule it in YouTube because they gave me that stupid strike from the stream yesterday, which that was so much fun to dunk on another dead, decayed platform in Vice. They're filing for bankruptcy, and Daily Wire is basically Fox News with better bandwidth. Them telling you that marriage and settling down with a Western woman is the best path forward. Like, these motherfuckers don't understand. That's why they're taken with such glee that Crowder is going through a divorce right now. Meanwhile, Crowder actually gets most of the shit, okay? Like, whenever he talks about games and entertainment and shit like that, yeah, he'll poke fun at it, and yeah, he's gonna tell you the exact same stuff the guys like Rollo and John MLD and the guys that I actually think are worth a shit when it comes to the red pill. If you're doing it casually, if you're doing it as a one-off thing, that's all fine. But stop sedating yourself. Meanwhile, Matt Walsh, he's just known for just having shitty takes.
All you need to do is just consider yourself, dig down further in politics and watch my documentary.
Their type of thought process is the reason that society has gone to shit, because there was no pushback on the unfettered quest that the left went on in order to indoctrinate all aspects of society. If the right wanted to go ahead and leave everything because, I got a legacy and a bloodline, I can't be bothered with those stupid moving pictures on the screen, and what are those stupid video games all about? All it's gonna do is just lead kids to just committing violence. That's just all dumb. But more on that in a moment. You got the quartering here, right? Wild take, Matt. I'm not conservative, nor have I ever claimed to be recruiting for them. Comparing our numbers is weird. Why were you not mentioned in this tweet? Oh, you were not mentioned in this tweet. It was about the right. That's why I didn't say Matt Walsh. And yeah, they've been bickering back and forth like a big bitch slap fight, even though my money would be on Jeremy. He's a large man, and Matt Walsh is a small man. Seems like sensitive and pointless infighting, even though Matt Walsh did kind of bitch slap him a little bit earlier by saying,
you should take this tranny thing a little bit more seriously.
And then, you know, the quartering lackadaisically decided to croak something out that, trans issue's not that big of a problem. Like I said, I don't think Jeremy's all that on the up and up, but I despise 1950s TradCon's way more than just some Waywood hairless Sasquatch up there in Wisconsin. And like I was alluding to just a little bit earlier, you're probably going to be seeing a little bit more entertainment coverage on the channel here every once in a while, because yeah, you take a look at idiots and they get so much fucking engagement on social media, and now they're going to start going after the commentary sphere when it comes to entertainment. Bro, you are not equipped for this shit. So yeah, well, I think that it's sedation. I haven't watched a new movie since Iron Man 3 insulted all of my good common sense, and I haven't been to the theater since Dark Knight Rises. I can still suss out when shit's going sideways in video games, in movies, in music, and even sports as well. Like, I liked all of that stuff for a very long time, and the last video game that I sat down and played until it really pissed me off was Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, I know I'm dating everything accordingly, but if everything was fine and something wasn't bad for the fact that it had overt political messaging, if shit was just bad for the sake of being bad, like if we had an Under Siege 2 that would come out right now, okay, like yeah, Steven Seagal's kind of goofy and he always walks around with his hands sort of in his pocket and you can tell the type of soy sauce he uses to dye his hair, but if we just had bad action movies, that would be fine. Instead of Ant-Man, where they're telling you that through mindless little insects that socialism isn't such a bad idea. So fucking dumb, but that's what the quartering said. I could play the clip, but fuck Matt Walsh.
Come on, man. Stand by your words. You tweeted that at the exact moment that people were digging up old tweets of mine about video games. Everyone knows who you were talking about.
No, Jeremy's tweet right there that you have clipped out, and this was May 1st. Bro, those have been going around for a long time. You just don't have your finger on the pulse, and this is what the Daily Wire does, okay? They see what's popping right now, and then they try to infiltrate it with all, what was it, Michael Knowles on whatever podcast trying to push his TradCon's bullshit in order to capitulate to those fucking brainlet broads that he has on the panel? Listen, the whatever podcast, very successful, but it's made the fatal flaw of making the dumb broads that are on the panel the fucking stars instead of, I think his name's Brian. He's so unremarkable. That's why Fresh and Fit is going to end up lasting, and We Are Miami, or We in Miami, whatever. That podcast as well, okay? That's why Pearl, she's kind of walking the tightrope by also, you know, bringing Fuentes on and then at the same time apologizing for Fuentes and then wanting to bring him back. It's like, okay, you got to either stay 10 toes down. There is no one foot in the pool and then one outside of the pool. And then, yeah, you have everybody lampooning what they think the dating shows, the red pill shows are all about, where they haven't even watched any of this stuff. But now, because Daily Wire is simply clout jacking at this point in time, now they're going to try to go after the quartering by inferring that he was talking about you here. The right's weird obsession with disavowing video games, anime, and social media is why they never appeal to most of Gen Z. Like, this isn't a new take. This has been the take for a long fucking time. The base is literally dying off, and most of the voices in the community are actively refusing recruits. Okay, yeah, it's a tweet. It sounds like a pretty bog standard quartering tweet. Like, I don't know why you got so butthurt about that, but and Jeremy decides to, I don't know, leak DMs or something like that. I'm not playing with this take it to the DMs crap and people claiming I'm clout chasing. I do just fine. Second of all, I tried to over 2 months ago, 0 replies. Yeah, that was during the time that he was getting bitched out for, you know, saying that the trans issue's not that big of a problem. What a big fucking oof, but now we can take it to another Jeremy, which is completely fucking stupid. I don't even remember. How did this shit, other than, well, your initial stupid take, right? So this is, oh, they're digging up old tweets of mine. Yeah, okay, cool. So they're doing a better job than your research department. Should have had them deleted, bro. But
video games are a sacred cow because our country is filled with adults who are obsessed with them.
Filled with them? That's interesting, okay? Because if you want to just go ahead and, you know, pull it out completely, most people are sedated in some form or fashion, either just watching cable news all the time, or staring at their phone screens, scrolling TikTok time and time again. But okay, to be fair, what, 2018, so 5 years ago. Wow, 5 years ago at this point in time. Shit hasn't changed all that much, just so to say, yeah.
They're adults that are obsessed with them. That's why they all pretend insanely that there's nothing wrong with or disturbing about a child spending all day killing people in a virtual world.
Yo, just an L. Jack Thompson take from way back in the cut. But, okay, yeah, once again, nothing fucking revelatory. Saying he ended up picking a fight with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers? Like, the fuck are you doing here, you little spurg? So he quote tweeted this, okay, screen-based entertainment is bad, stop playing video games. Also, Matt Walsh, keep watching my YouTube channel, it gets 40 million views per month. Yeah, exactly. Stop wasting your time over there, waste it over here. And then Matt, being all, you know, bitchy about this,
we should not let our children's lives revolve entirely around screens.
Where's the children aspect of this? Because you were talking about adults, but you go ahead and you shift the goalpost. Your entire crew seems to be very good at not being able to read. Maybe if you spent more time doing that instead of bitching on Twitter, well, maybe you'd be a little bit more equipped for these types of conversations.
So you're saying all screen-based entertainment is always bad for anyone all the time, you hypocrite.
That's not at all what he was saying. He's just blown up like an emotional bitch, which is, hey man, it's par for the course. And if we're gonna go ahead and, call for all the smoke, well, you want to move off of entertainment and then back into your supposed wheelhouse. Putting Romney on the cabinet would be a great move. Romney is a decent, competent man and a leader. The hate towards him is idiotic. Right after Trump won the election, Matt, oh fuck, we can go ahead and extrapolate that out to the Daily Wire. The Daily Never Trump Wire. Yikes, by Razor Fist. Of course. So yeah, you continue to just try to spurg slap fight with people all over the internet, Daily Wire. See how fucking well it works out for you. You guys want to be a jack of all trades, but not realizing that once you start to go to the experts in those certain areas, all you're going to do is just get fucking clowned on. That's why I can't stand the Daily Wire. Oh, they're just atrocious. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.